Hello and welcome to an Atlas update video. I don't know what to call these, but basically a new Q&A with the devs has come out, and I've had a quick little skim through, and there's some interesting things here that I thought we could go through together. I haven't gone through it properly, so let's get onto it. Let's do that together. Let's get out my first impressions, or whatever. Let's just do it. All right. So there's going to be another post later. I have noticed this. That's going to be focusing on inquiries regarding PvP balances. I'm glad they decided to do that one second, because I don't really play the PvP aspect of these games. Being in Australia, I've never really had a decent server connection to even worry about that. But anyway, we're moving on. But let's get into this. Let's just go. Like, I keep stumbling. It's a thing I do. I'm going to talk quickly. I apologize for that as well. I just want to get through this as quick as possible. Alright, so from the captain's quarters, they have heard your concerns regarding the new ship system and would like to discuss our goals for it, which is good. So we love the level of customization of the original ship system provides, and we will continue to support it for as long as possible. Currently, there are no plans to remove the original ship system. Alright, so my thoughts on this first this first paragraph here. I have a little bit of hope, but it also is concerning. Now, they're saying here they will continue to support it, but only for as long as possible. Which, to me, that feels like a final nail in the coffin type situation here. They do plan on removing it eventually. But then they go ahead and say currently there are no plans to remove the original ship system. But come on, that's kind of contradicting this statement here. Support it for as long as possible. Like, you've got plans to get rid of it. Ultimately, that's what that boils down. These are contradictory statements. You cannot say we have no plans to remove it, but you're only going to support it as long as possible. I don't know. My brain can't. If your brain can wrap it around and explain that better to me. Alright, well, I stumbled there, so I had to restart. But if you can explain this to me in any other way that would mean that they are planning to get rid of the current ship system, please let me know. Because to me, this says this sentence here, support it for as long as possible, means it's going away eventually. Probably not anytime soon, mind you, but eventually it will go away. Alright, let's move on. Early access gives us the unique opportunity to share new systems while they're in early development. Yes, that is one of the benefits of early access. The modular ship systems is one of these new systems, and it will be released in 3 main stages. First, which has already begun. In the first stage, we used a new system to create pre-built ships like the ramming galley and the majestic kraken. Our goal with this stage is to give players a sneak peek of the system, also providing a quicker option for obtaining new ships. Okay, no. A quicker option for obtaining new ships. Sure, if you have hundreds of thousands of gold lying around, that is true. But I can't remember what the exact number is, but isn't it like 20,000 gold for the schooner ship or something? That's not easy to get. 20,000 gold isn't easy for any new players to get, unless you're already well established. That's not easy. Alright, so this makes it so only the established people are going to be able to really get out there quickly. It's hard for me to put into words my feelings of this. Alright, so if you're established, you'll be able to get a ship, which means you'll be able to take over more stuff quickly. Then somebody who has to grind their way to get the 20,000 gold just to buy this ship, or even just make a schooner. I know basic schooners like 15,000 gold or something. Maybe 20,000, I don't know. I use mods to get rid of that. It annoys me. Anyway, the next stage, let's get on to the next stage. The next stage of the modular ship systems will introduce customized options to pre-built ships through module swapping. Okay. We'll be introducing a system similar to sale points called module points. Again, I'm not a big fan of the sale point system. Could you make some new sales too while you're at it? Just FYI, please. Sales that actually, represent what sales were like back in the 1800s or whatever era, 1400s, when these ships were popular. Anyway, each ship will have a pool of module points Okay, yeah, we know how that. Placed on the ship's rigging, set number of points. High impacts will cost more. A midship gunport module with 2 gunports will cost more than a midship gunport module with 1 gunport. See, I don't like the sound of that. This just sounds like, yeah, module. It's not really customization, is it? It's just you've got, yeah. Anyway, whatever. Let's move on from the fake customization here. This whole module system is terrible idea, bad idea, in my opinion. I mean, yeah. As we expand the customization system, our goal is to introduce a variety of modules that provide meaningful choices when building ships. Players will need to decide which piece is the most valuable to their strategy and budget their points accordingly. You feel that the original ship system had little room for choice. What? The original ship system had little room for choice and expression because the meta was so defined. What? That doesn't make sense. No. I could build whatever the hell I wanted. Our goal is to expand the meta to include a variety of different builds and strategies supported by the new system. Initially, we'll be releasing tactically focused modules, but eventually we will also release cosmetically focused modules. These could include things like different railings types or midship modules with windows. Cosmetic modules provide no advantage in combat, but would allow players to make their ship their own. They won't cost additional module points. Well, that's good to know. At least the cosmetic ones won't cost any module points. What is this sentence? Had the original ship system had little room for choice and expression. Do they even play their game? Because the meta was so defined. I'm guessing the meta that they're talking about is people just building turtle ships. How about you just limit how many ramps you can have on a ship? You know, how about that? 10 ramps. That's the most you can have on a ship. That's probably about as much as you'd need, more often than not. I don't know. How do you yell without yelling? The final stage of the system will allow players to build modular ships from the ground up. After choosing a ship hull size, the players will be able to plug in modules from a variety of available choices as long as they have enough module points. Our goal is to eventually have enough modules that the new system will have the same level of customization as the original ship system had little room for choice and expression. The new system will have the same level of customization as the original. Do they read these? Or am I just like not getting it? Please let me know, because I'm genuinely curious. The final stage of development won't be complete for a while. I hope you'll stick with us for this journey. I hate to say it, I don't think most people will. From the sounds of what you're trying to change and how long it looks, it's seeming that to take. I mean, how long ago did they release the ramming ship? What was that, like 2 months ago? And they just released it. Yeah. So you're looking at least, I'd estimate 6 months before you get anywhere near the final system. I personally, I'm giving this game a 12-month end of life, in my personal opinion. But anyway, moving on. This is just full of contradictory statements. Next, new survey. Okay, we're back. We are back with another community survey. Surveys will cover specific topics. Okay, fair enough. So if we haven't pushed out a survey relevant to your interest, please know there'll be more. Okay. I do like the idea of surveys. I do think that is a good way to go about things. So let's see what this month's survey is focused on collecting early feedback and ships for gold. Currently have the ramming and the cracking out plans for many new and unique ships on the way. The goal is to create a highly custom. Yeah, you've already said this like 10 times in this thing. Please find a link to the survey. All right, let's click on this. Is it going to pop up a new window? Okay. Yes, continue to external site. That's why I clicked the button. Alright, let's have a look. We're back with another survey. Early feedback. Go link to the ship's blurb here. Thank you. Require before completing. Please read up on the latest info and about our goals. Yes, I've read that. Well, I've read to the point there. What do you like about... Oh, you actually... This isn't a proper survey. Okay. Alright. Go to this and fill this out. Let them know. That is the best way. I'd assume. If assuming they actually follow these and read all these, please do it. Probably take you about 15 minutes, maybe. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to do this later. I'm not going to do it now. I'll do it once I finish recording this video because we don't want to sit here forever. There you go. Well, here they are. We cannot promise to commit any specific change. Yeah. I always love a little, asterisk there. No, look, do this, but we're not actually going to change anything. Anyway, let's move on. Here's our Q&A. Alright, let's have a look at the Q&A part. Will the new claim system address the long-standing problems many islands have of lawless areas in what should be island-owned territory? Let's see what they say. We have been getting a lot of great data about claiming since early access started. Each system had some good aspects and bad aspects. Every player has different needs and ideas about what they want. The new area claim system is meant to fill in gaps for now will live side by side with the existing island claim system. The island system still has some flaws and bugs, and we'll be looking to address that in the future. Alright, well, that's like, yeah, we know about it, but we're not dealing with it now. Fair enough, I suppose. I don't know, the claim system, yeah, I don't know. I've never been a big fan of it, but at the same time, I haven't exactly hated it. What I've hated more is the spam building and blocking of places where people can port and get specific resources. That I don't like, but it is what it is. Yeah, that would actually take a bit to redo, I'd imagine. Anyway, moving on. With the new theme and vision, will single player still be a part of that? While PvP is our primary focus, we want to ensure new features are also supported in our other game modes, including single player. Alright, someone's going to have to do a big burnout in front of my house. Oh, you're an idiot. Anyway, hope you crash. That's just mean. Blah, blah, blah. What do we got? Patches being tested in single player, or are they only tested for multiplayer? Patches have addressed some single player specific bugs. Okay, well, at least they are patching single player and trying to think. Can you enable the market system on single player? Okay, that seems like a silly... Why would you need a market system on single player? Who are you trading with? I don't really know how their market system works, if I'm honest, so we're moving on. Will there be factions or AI? It would make PvE more interesting. PvP only at sea, while land is PvE. That's an interesting compromise there, actually. Our direction for Atlas is to make rich player interactions, whether it's through conflict or cooperation, and that is where we'll spend most of our development effort. We have talked about factions and think those fit better with a MMORPG style game, rather than a massively multiplayer sandbox game focused on PvP. Atlas is an MMORPG. It's multiplayer online, where you make a character of any way you want to make it look, and then you have skill points which you assign to, and that's what an RPG is. You assign skill points to fit your character into a certain role. I don't Are you getting rid of the skill point system? Anyway, when will there be a massive structure limit for land bases? How do you prevent massive structure spam that was used in PvP as a defense meta on any island and in PvE to claim land on lawless? Spamming structures is not fun. Yeah, that's why people are complaining about it. We have some tools available as restricted in the number of structures that can be built. Each of those options come with drawbacks. We'd like to find a solution that feels good within the world is good for performance and isn't so ugly. One of the things we are working on is giving players more choices when building. For example, rather than having to spam 100 walls, we are adopting some of the modding community solution and making large stone blocks so that larger defensive structures can be made with fewer pieces. We are also looking at making more automated structures that are designed specifically for defense. Yeah, okay. Are you going to give credit to these modding communities that have come up with these? Because if you're just going to nick their ideas, you should credit them for it at least. Where they had 100 wars. I don't know. It seems like a pretty straightforward thing, I suppose. If you have like a 4x5 stone wall instead of having to have 20 stone walls, that would help. That sounds like a good idea. But again, that doesn't help with the actual issue of people building everywhere. That was the original question, wasn't it? How to prevent massive structure spam that was used in PvP as a defense meta and in a PvE to claim land on lawless. That was the question. You didn't actually answer the question. You just went on to say, alright, whatever. Where can we take exact amounts of resources out of a resource box? Can we please have a keybind to pull one stack of something from a ship resource chest? Thank you for the suggestion. We'll look into this. We love hearing ideas that make Atlas a smoother experience. It's just a simple thing. It is slightly annoying, but I don't think that should be a priority. I mean, you can do that with normal inventories. It's just the resource box. Actually, why can't you do that with a resource box? I can do that with a storage chest. Anyway, alright. Moving on. Holidays are to be... What holidays are going to be recognised? New Year's, we skipped over Valentine's. We don't have a formal list. See, the problem with celebrating some... That's more a political thing. Hello, I was reading something. Where'd you go? That was rude. The problem with celebrating specific holidays is it can be seen as not fair to other holidays. So I don't know how you fix that. That just seems like a touchy subject. Do you plan to make any changes to the current economic system? Gold is pretty abundant on PvP and absurdly worthless on PvE due to the lack of any major gold sinks. Do you have any plans to change the gold cost settings between PvP and PvE? PvP sinks gold into war, deck tokens, drakes, and thousands of defensive NPCs. PvE has none of this. Island costs are minimal. There is little chance of islands changing ownership on PvE until the owner doesn't log in for 10 days. They don't care about PvE. In fact, yeah, there you go. Right there. Focused on balancing PvP first. I don't think PvE is going to be around for... PvE isn't going to be around... do they even have PvE official servers? I think they have one, don't they? Yeah. Long story short, I'm not going to bother reading this because it's just going to be... Nah, we're not going to do anything about that for a while. Okay. Question, will more gear for the players, like new swords, guns, and armor, be added as time goes on? I don't really feel like any more gear can really be added. Let's see what they say. Just simply due to the theme of the thing. Atlas is a game about telling player stories. Custom gear or content is one of the places we'd like to reinforce that. Rather than take the standard RPG approach where the devs create thousands of items, we'd rather give the players tools to let them craft unique and interesting items of the game. So I'll be working on those sort of systems instead. That said, most of our art effort in the next year is focused on creating awesome new ships, so new visuals for player gear will not likely be added soon. One, your ships aren't awesome. They're terrible. So, two, I suppose, armor in that right now, you can paint them. And they've got a few skins, and the skins can be painted too, so you got that, but I don't know, it's more of a secondary thing. You don't really notice your armor. Me personally, anyway, sorry. This is all personal. Does the team envision that it could be viable to just sail 24/7 and totally avoid land from the beginning of the game? New ships, sea forts, water tames, oceans more alive. Continue developing that content that pulls towards the sea. We have a variety of features in development, including a physical trade ships that can be intercepted and steal resources. We are moving towards a world in which a strong navy will be required, even if you have a base on land. That said, land will always have a place. Sure. I mean, I wouldn't. Yeah, sure. Didn't he used to have trade ships and you keep taking it out? I don't know. I don't know why. I guess I can see the appeal of being on the land on sale most of the time, but not 24/7. You need a place to rest. Come on. Even ships would dock every now and then. Hell, the Navy only runs their ships for a few months at a time before the sailors come home. Anyway, we'd like to hear more about direction on loot. The loot in this game is so bad right now. We are seeing no crafts on BPs. We're not seeing more of these BPs dropping. Okay. Didn't they say last time that they're playing around with the blueprint system in the moment? Let's have a look. More on that system as it comes along. Yeah, so they're changing it. We started making changes to the loot, focus, blueprints, multiple changes. Blueprint crafts, there were some errors in the math which made the number of crafts significantly lower than it was intended. Okay, it's just a little bit buggy at the moment, so they know about it, they're fixing it. I don't really mind the blueprint system. Let them figure that out. That's an issue that they can play with. It was always a bit odd anyway. We'll see how we go. Will we see increased reasons to sell in our home grids? Currently, the only place to sell for content is GA. Is there talk of making local grid content that would incentivize players to sell to other grids other than GA? The hell? More adding in sea forts, another objectives you need to sail to and complete over. Sailing can be obnoxious and yeah. Please, thank you for acknowledging this part. Sailing can be obnoxious, especially if you have to travel a long distance. Anyway, we're addressing the problem with that with upcoming trade winds, and after that we plan to introduce a new portal system. Interesting. You just steal the one from Valheim, because that's a very good portal system. Trade winds is in the final testing. The portal system is being worked out in design. Atlas is primarily a game about interactions with other players. So new water objectives we create not going to be single player experiences, but rather ways of drawing players together in conflict. Okay. So I like the idea of a portal system. That could come in handy. You have to sail somewhere, put a portal down. I think that's actually a good idea. Especially like if you're down south, then you need resources that are in a desert type biome. You know, sometimes those can be long trips. I mean, if you got to sail more than 3 cells, can take over an hour. Sometimes sailing in 3 cells can take an hour. Yeah, I don't know. I think portals are a great idea. I'll be happy to see that in the game. Anyway, long-term performance optimizations, realistic ones. It seems pretty clear that from a technology perspective, it's not possible to support islands of hundreds of thousands of structures on them to maintain enjoyable gameplay. How is this being addressed, etc.? Consolidate some larger multi-piece structures into chunkier single-piece structures. Okay, so this here also is reinforcing my belief I said in the last one, one of these things I did, where they're going to go to module buildings as well, pre-made, prefabs. Sometimes prefabs can work well, sometimes it's not so much. I'd prefer building my own structures, but you know, I mean, maybe if they just put down like you build a house, but then everything looks the same. I suppose everything kind of looks the same as it is now. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of prefabs, and I think prefabs is where this is going to go. Prefabs are good for building big, giant set pieces. Alright, somewhere where you're not going to live, but, you know. Yeah. But prefabs would help with that is an issue. I do understand having thousands of pieces on a building can cause server issues. I mean, in single player, when I play, and in some of the cities I've built, like, I go from having like 100 frames a second to less than 30 after I've getting to the end. Like, that is a huge drain on my computer. And I can't imagine what that would be like for a server with tracking that has to track like every player location, all the tames that are going to be there, all the buildings, and on top of that, it's got to transmit all that information around the world. That is a very tough thing. I can see the desire to move to prefabs for that, but you know, we'll see. We don't want to remove the customization that is a hallmark of Atlas. That's a load of crap. Why do they do this? Like, this just... no, you are. The new ship system is removing... Anyway. It's the ship system that triggers me. Every time I see something, it triggers me. New ways to add new options rather than coexisting choices. See, okay, let's go back to, I don't know where it was, but they were saying that they were going to change. They want to add wall pieces, so that instead of having 100 wall pieces for a wall, you can just build big stone walls and stuff. If that's a player choice, I think you're going to find a lot of people are not going to change. Not everyone. I'm not saying everyone. It might even be like only 30% of the people will intentionally spam build to make other people not able to play in that server. It's a thing that I've seen happen many times, especially in Ark, which is what this game is based out of. Before, where you get people just build so much stuff that it causes so much lag that they can never actually be attacked properly. Anyway, let's keep going. What is the ability to salvage parts? Would the ability to salvage ship parts of sunken enemy ships be possible? A skill with a chance to salvage an item to get an item at a lower percentage. This would help provide incentive for players to PvP for loot in ship combats. God damn it. We're definitely looking at ways to bring more conflict to the ocean. You've said that so many times. Winning a difficult battle only to receive some resources can certainly be frustrating. We'd love to implement a system that allows you to have greater reward for your efforts. Okay, so yeah. How about instead of having to destroy cannons of a ship, you can pick it up once it's sunk. Just change the state from not pick upable to pick upable. That way you can get the cannons that they've dropped. Or, stuff like that. I think that'd be a good way to do it. I mean, cannons can be pretty expensive to build. So that'd be nice. That would be one of the things I would look at doing. Everything else in the ships is not that big of a deal, I suppose. I mean, I suppose if it's a mythical ship or something like that, and they're difficult to build the planks and things, but yeah, you could start by just making the cannons pick upable. What cannons are left when the ship sinks. That'd be nice. Be nice if you want to salvage your own ship too. Will players who have been playing since early access be rewarded with something special when the game goes full release? I don't think players who have been playing this game in early access really deserve anything other than the fact that, in theory, we should have got the game for half the price at least. I mean, that's kind of my thoughts on it. Like, I don't feel like they owe me anything for being here since the beginning. I feel like that what they owed me for being here is getting the game cheaper than people that wait until it's full release. And let's be honest, this game has been in early access for so long that when it goes to full access, who wouldn't own it? Anyway, moving on. What are the immersion goals on the horizon? Performance related, boring, problematic to have ships rendering when they are almost within firing distance. This is on our radar. We agree rendered distance should be increased to prevent ships popping in and out of view during combat, but we want to ensure that any changes we make won't come at the cost of performance. Yeah, I can see that. This, I don't think Atlas, the engine that they're using, was designed for the way that it's being used. I think that's the problem, and to change that, you basically have to build from the beginning. So I really do feel sympathy. I really do have sympathy for them for having to fix all these performance issues. Again, like prefab ships are one way to do it. I understand that, but that takes out. Yeah, to me that feels like it's a core part of the gameplay. So I don't know. It's a tough sport, and I know I'm being hard on them. It's just because I love the game so much. Weather mechanics, very one-dimensional. Don't really offer any strategic value. You can't head into a storm to lose chases, for example. Well, yeah. I mean, okay. Yeah, they're gonna make certain islands more uninhabitable if you're an attacker. Make storms more introducing by adding new encounters and resources inside them. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you do with weather mechanics. People are still gonna always chase you into a storm. It's part of the fun. I mean, I don't understand. I understand that they want more interesting things, but this example here was just... I just think this was a poor example. Sorry, guy, whoever asked this question. I just don't think heading into a storm to lose someone chasing you was ever a really viable option. I mean, you could do it. If you sail straight into a hurricane, they lose sight of you, and you could probably pull away off in a different direction. I don't know. Also, small things like allowing to... Yes. This, just take it. There's mods. There's a mod I'm using. I can't remember what it is. It's Spock maybe. I'm really tired in every game, not just Atlas, in every game, of having to build a standing torch and then have to take like 20 minutes out of my day to run around to every standing torch and put fuel in it. It just... I never end up doing it, for starters. It just end up going off. So, do that. Anyway, final note. We're finally at the end. Again, we like to emphasize Atlas is early access. Okay, yeah. Continue to drastically change. You say this every time. So, overall, I mean, there are some good things here. There are some understandable things here. From what I'm looking at here, actually giving this a proper read over, ships, customizable ships are definitely going out the door. Module ships are going to be the way of the future. They're saying here, have a survey. But they're also saying they're not going to commit to any changes. So I think they've locked in the module ship design. I think that their customizable ships will be going away, especially when they put in the... Where was it? I can't remember where it was. There was someone in there where they said that they will support the old style for as long as possible, which means eventually they will stop supporting it. So, yeah. We got some time left. We've got a little bit of life left in this game. But you know what? That's going to be it for this episode of reading developers' things. I'm going to quickly disappear and fill out this thingy-mabob. And that's going to be it for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that other fun stuff. I try to make it quick. Again, sorry if I was speaking quickly. And sometimes I got a bit zoned outy, frustrated, trying to process things in my brain, but that's just the way this game is, and that's the way I work. Oh, and sorry for my OCD desktop, but how good does that carrick look over the planet? That's amazing. And I'll see you later, guys. Have a good one. Bye.